Now we're going to apply the exterior fixed handle to the glass. You've already taken off all of the parts when you remove this from the packaging. Before we begin, we're going to make sure that we add our Loctite to each one of the threaded posts. Remember to add your Loctite liberally so that these posts cannot back out over time. Now we'll line the exterior handle up with the holes in the glass and simply thread the mounting brackets into the handle. In the package, you'll get a special spanner wrench that is designed specifically for mounting this handle. Nobody can take this handle off or readjust it without this special tool. You'll also need this tool to take the original handle out of the packaging when it arrives. It's preferable to use a non-marring wrench when tightening the inside cap. However, if you don't have one, make sure that you use some setting blocks or other rubber material that will protect it against the jaws on a standard pair of pliers. Now, to mount the interior panic bar, you want to make sure that the actuator post is lined up to the 3-hole cutout in your glass. This reverse angle will help illustrate how to install the actuator post into the panic handle. First of all, this is a spring-actuated plunger, and you want to make sure that this piece is held firmly in place when you do this installation. When you install this, you've got to push this into the opening and turn it a little bit to get that edge to slide down inside. Once that post is in, you want to make sure that this is lined up so that there's an even gap on all sides, so when this is operating, it's not going to scrape. If for some reason it doesn't line up, then you have to refer to applying the different washers to move this left, right, up or down so that actuator post will be centered in the opening. Then make sure that the top fitting aligns with the hole cut in your top rail. We're now going to fasten the top bracket connector. First, we want to make sure that we lift it out and apply Loctite liberally to the threaded area. Now we're going to push this through the hole in the rail and actually thread it into the top adapter block. This should be easy if you've left the top adapter block loose so that you can help with your alignment. If you have any problem with the top rail or this hole aligning with the panic handle, then you can refer to your top door rail installation instructions if you need to loosen the top rail and adjust it. You're going to make sure that this is firmly tightened. Then with your Allen wrench supplied, tighten the adapter block firmly. Remember, you've also put thread lock on all of these screws so they'll stay in place. Now we want to measure from the glass to the center line of the panic handle. This should be 2 inches. If there's any discrepancies, you can adjust the screw on the adapter bracket to make sure that we have this 2-inch dimension correct. Place interior panic handle over pivoting end of exterior horizontal handle retainer. First, rotating the pivoting projection so that the cross hole is aligned to the hole in the horizontal bar. Insert the threaded pin and tighten with your Allen wrench. You may want to use the Allen wrench to align these holes. It'll make it much easier to put in the threaded pin. You want to make sure that you've applied your Loctite liberally to the threaded pin before the installation. You want to make sure that this pin is tightened so that it's about flush with the outside of the handle. Now the next step in our handle procedure is the most critical part of your handle installation. We must make sure that the handle actuator post is lined up correctly. To do this, we want to select the number 1 bushing, and if you refer to your instruction sheet, you'll see these clearly marked, that will align all of the holes in the center of the 3-hole patch cut in the glass. Now we want to make sure that we add our thread lock material to the screw. Then we're going to take our key access, align it to the actuator post, and slide it into the holes in the glass. We're now going to hand tighten the screw, then check the actuator post to make sure that it's centered properly in the handle. If this is not centered properly or lined up correctly, again, refer to your instructions on how to select a different bushing that will push that actuator post left, right, up, or down to make sure that there's proper clearance all the way around it. Once this is lined up correctly, we want to firmly set our screw so that it's flush with the actuator post. You want to make sure that there's correct clearance so that you won't get any scraping that over time can affect the operation of the handle. Again, we want to make sure to refer to our installation instructions that clearly show the different bushings available to make sure that that hole lines up correctly. And this step is complete. Now the handle mounting procedure is complete, but before we pack it and ship it, we want to make sure that it operates correctly. First, check the dogging feature by pushing the handle in and out and making sure that you can latch the dogging slide bolt easily. Now you want to make sure that the key works in the key access. Once the key is inserted, you should be able to twist this fairly easily, making the top latch bolt go up and down. If you look at the instructions, it will give you details on how to change out the cylinder if this needs to be done over time. Make sure that your key goes back into the envelope because the installer and owner will need this when making the installation. Also, all the tools that are needed to do the installation and make any door adjustments in the field are also in this envelope along with a full set of instructions. So make sure that these are left with the door when you ship it to your customer.